Carriage on purchases. Carriage on purchases means we call it as carriage inward. Please write down there itself. Idle time means the hours or time they have wasted. So it is not in their hand, but also they have not worked for those 2 hours. Other than these 3, nothing will come. Almost we have done 7 to 8 problems. Every problem we have the same. It will not change. Add everything, you got 2,22,350 divided by what? 2000. Hello everyone, this is your Adarsh sir, lecturing Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. So we are in the session 9 of your topic called Cost Accounting. As I told you, we are doing problems on unit basis. Means per unit what is the cost. Very simple. We'll do the normal cost sheet, but we will divide by number of units. So we'll do one problem. It is on the basis of unit. As I told you, each and every problem what we are doing, everything from your past question paper problems. And every problem I am adding one new adjustment so that in examination you should not be biased with anything. So that we will be covered with each and every concept. So what will be your agenda for today's session? So we will do problem on cost sheet and we'll do only one problem on that cost sheet. Then, so in this, following information are extracted from Sadhana Limited for the year ended 30th 6 2016. In this, out of this, stock on 1/7/2015. What is that opening stock? In this, raw material, it will be what? Prime cost. All the raw materials comes under prime cost. If it is closing raw material, same prime cost we will deduct. Then, work in progress will come under administration overhead. Office and administration overhead. Then finished goods will come under selling and distribution overhead. Selling and distribution overhead. Next, stock on 30th 6 2016. So what we are doing, that is from July to June, complete 1 year. They are not following financial year. They are not following calendar year. They are following every June to every July to June. Or else in the cost sheet, it is not that they should do cost sheet only for financial year. They should do cost sheet only for your accounting year. So whenever they want, they can prepare cost sheet. Maybe they have started their production in the month of July. So they want till 30th June. Now, closing stock of raw material, same thing, prime cost, but we will subtract, means we will minus. Then work in progress. Under work in progress, what we will do? So similarly, it will come under office and administration overhead, but we will deduct, we will minus. Next, finished goods. Finished goods also comes under where? Yes, it will also comes under prime cost. But under prime cost, where we will do selling and, sorry, it is not prime cost, selling and distribution overhead. Under selling and distribution overhead, we will deduct, we will minus. Then purchase of material. If you purchase any material, we call it as prime cost. If they have mentioned specifically purchase of indirect material, then where it will come? Factory overhead. Remember, anything which is directed or not mentioned will come under prime cost. Anything which is specifically mentioned that indirect, then we'll consider under your factory overhead. Now, so carriage on purchases. Carriage on purchases means we call it as carriage inward. Please write down there itself. Carriage on purchases mean carriage inward. Now, as per this, it will come under prime cost. Then, all the direct expenses, where it will go? Prime cost. All the direct expenses will go to prime cost. Then next thing, productive wages. Productive wages means what? Your direct wages. Unproductive wages means what? Indirect wages. Remember, these are the words which are substitute for your normal words. Like every problem we used to get product direct wages. So in this problem they have given like productive wages. Productive wages means direct wages. Unproductive wages means indirect wages. Remember these words. Now, productive wages are called as direct wages. It will come under prime cost. Remember this. Unproductive wages, opposite. Opposite will come where? Factory overhead. It will come under factory overhead. Then manufacturing expenses. Manufacturing expenses comes under where? Yes, manufacturing expenses comes under your factory overhead. Where do we do manufacturing process? We do manufacturing process under factory overhead. Now, administration overhead. Administration means what? Office and administration. It will come under office and administration overhead. Selling and distribution overhead. Selling and distribution overhead comes under selling and distribution itself. They have given you directly, so no need of any bias. Directly we can take it as selling and distribution overhead. So this will come under selling and distribution overhead. Hope you understood up to this. Now, the next part will be abnormal idle time wages. Now, what about abnormal idle time wages? So, first we'll understand what is idle time. Now, so it is a very simple concept. Idle time means what? Idle time. So, idle time means what? Means, for example, you have 9 o'clock is your office. I am giving you example. 9 o'clock is your office. Now, at what time you will leave? 5 p.m. your office closes. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, what is the total hours? 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many hours you are working? You are working for 8 hours. How many hours you are working? You are working for 8 hours. Now, out of 8 hours, in this 1 hour, we will keep it as your lunch time or else some refreshment time. So, out of 8 hours, half an hour will be your lunch hour and balance half an hour will be your food or some tea break or something will be. Now, out of 8 hours, 1 hour is what? Relaxation, your food, entertainment or your refreshment, everything will cover under this 1 hour. Effectively, how many hours you are working? Yes, you are working for 7 hours. Any doubt up to this? Up to this, no doubt. Now, up to 8 hours, 1 hour we call it as normal loss. Normal loss means if you don't give them 1 hour break, without food they cannot work. Without refreshment they cannot work. Without a break they cannot work. That 1 hour is mandatory. So that 1 hour in between, it will give them boost to work for another half day. That's why this 1 hour you cannot control, you cannot cancel. So this 1 hour we call it as normal loss or else normal idle time. Normal idle time. That 1 hour we call it as normal idle time. This 7 hours we call it as effective hours or else productive hours. Clear? Up to this, any doubt? As per this example, out of 8 hours, 1 hour we call it as normal idle time. 7 hours we call it as productive time. Up to this, any doubt? Hopefully, there is no doubt. Now, 7 hours you are supposed to work, but in case there is no raw material in the stock, you cannot do production. If there is a power failure, you cannot do production. If something happened to labor, he has to go to hospital, he cannot work. If something breaks down, he cannot work. This, out of 7 hours, 2 hours there were no power. So it is a power cut. Our machine got repaired, damaged, breakdown. So out of 7 hours, 2 hours they did not work. They did not produce anything. This 2 hours we call it as idle time. They call it as what? Idle time. Idle time is the hours or time they have wasted. So it is not in their hand, but also they have not worked for those 2 hours. So this 2 hours we call it as abnormal idle time. These things you can save. How? If you have generator, so even though power failure, you can work. If your machines are every month it is updated, serviced, are checked properly, breakdown will not be there. At the time of work, if you are taken safety measures, so any damages for the labors will not happen. So these kind of 2 hours you have wasted, you can save that, you can control that. These things we call it as abnormal idle time. Hope you are clear. What is idle time? You understood. What is abnormal idle time? You understood. Now, what is effective or productive hours? That also you understood. Remember, why did I spend time on this? Means only for this point means you have a chapter called labor. Under labor chapter, you have 5-mark question. What do you mean by idle time? Again, I'll repeat. You have a chapter called labor. Under labor, you have topic called idle time. Idle time, it is a 5-mark question for your examination. So be careful. So I always go with the concept so that you should not mug up and write. You should understand, then you have to solve. Now, yeah, abnormal idle time is over. But what we should do abnormal idle time? We are not supposed to take. Why? Because these all financial related items. It will not come under costing. Then excess provision for depreciation. These things will do it in profit and loss account or your balance sheet. Now, these are your financial items. We will not consider under cost sheet. Under cost sheet, these two things will not come. Hope you understood up to this. Now, in this, you have production during the year 2000 units. You are required to prepare statement of cost, statement of profit. Now, how many units they are producing? They are producing 200 units. Now, you are supposed to find out. So, all the calculation along with if you divide by 2000, how much do you get? We'll do that. This will be your answer. Again, I will not go back to your question so that you know that where I have marked all the points. Now, as per this, rupees total cost and cost per unit. How do you calculate it? Cost per unit? Remember, 2000 units. How do you calculate it? It is 2000 units. Now, in this, direct material, under this, opening stock of raw material, purchase of raw material, carriage on purchases. Remember this thing. Other than this three, nothing will come. Almost we have done 7 to 8 problems. Every problem we have the same. It will not change. Now, you have done with these things. Once if you are done with this, now, raw materials on 30th. This will be your closing. Closing always add or minus. We should minus. Closing we have to minus. In this 91,700 we should minus. From this if you minus, you got around 76,300. Clear? Yes. So you have done with that. Now once if you are done, cost of material consumed you got. Now how come? 1,68,000 minus 91,000. 76,300 is cost of raw material consumed. Now, for that, you should add productive wages as well as direct expenses. As I told you, productive wages means what? It is a direct wages. Now, direct wages we have taken, we have added everything. Now, what is the total? You got total of 1,81,500. Now, As I told you, whatever cost per unit will be calculated for this column or that column. Yes, we should calculate for this column, your second column. Now, 76,300 divided by 2000. I'll show you the calculation. 76,300 divided by 2000. Similarly, 60,200. 60,200 divided by 2000. So if you do calculation like this, you will get 38.15, 30.10, 22.50. Final answer will be 90.75. Hope you understood. Clear? Yes. This is all about your up to prime cost. We have done up to prime cost. We'll go further. These are your continuation of your cost sheet. Under this, your work overhead. Under work overhead, as per the question, if you go back to question, you will find out everything, whichever we have mentioned as factory overhead. I'll show you once. See, out of this, we don't have anything related to factory. Yes, productive wages, manufacturing expenses, these two we have. Along with that, opening work in progress, closing work in progress. Now, productive wages, manufacturing expenses. As I told you, you have only two. Along with that, opening stock of work in progress and closing stock of work in progress. Calculate. For everything, division is not required. Which are important? Your totals, not subtotals. Totals you have to find out. Now, 33,000 divided by 2,000. 2,14,000 divided by 2,000 units. Now, up to this we have done. Then finally you got what? Work cost. For work cost also you have to do divided by 2,000. Now, once you're done with work cost, administration overhead, I'll go back. Is there anything administration overhead? Yes. Work in progress, closing, work in progress, opening. Only two we have. That is the opening as well as closing. Then, is there anything? Yes, we have one. Administration overhead. Directly they have given 11,000. They have not given like salary, rent, insurance like that. They have not given. They have given complete total itself. Now, administration overhead. See, they have taken administration overhead. How much it is? 11,000. We have only one item. Directly you can take it in second column. If there are more than one, then what you should do? You should do calculation in the first column. The final answer should be written in last column. Now, add everything. You got 2,22,350 divided by what? 2,000 divided by 2,000. 11,000 divided by 2,000, 2,22,350 divided by 2,000. If you divide, you will get answer called 5.50, 111.18. These are all points. These are all points. Clear? Up to this, any doubt? Hopefully, up to this, there is nothing doubt. We'll go for continuation. Your continuation is very simple. Cost of production, you got 2,22,350. Now see, 2,22,350. Same thing I have copied and pasted this so that we need not to come back to your previous slide. Now, 2,22,350. If you divide by 2,000, remember you have to mention number of units. How much? Number of units are 2,000. Now, cost of production, add opening stock of finished goods minus closing stock of finished goods. So it is done. So how much you will get? You will get around 2,28,100. This has to be added. This has to be deducted. You got 2,28,100. Now, if you divide by 2,000, so whatever the major totals are there, those things only you have to divide. Clear? Yes. Everything not required. Now, 2,28,100 divided by 2,000 we have done. Now, once if it is done, selling and distribution overhead. They have not given subtotal like sales manager's salary, commission, go down rent, like that they have not given. They have given you directly. I'll go back to your question. In the question, they have given selling and distribution overhead, one amount, that is 15,000. Selling and distribution overhead, they have given 15,000. Now, add 15,000, you got 2,43,100. Up to this, any doubt? Now, profit and sale of finished goods. How to find out? Again, I'll go back. In the question, have they given anything related to profit or sales? We'll check. Stock, raw material, finished goods, stock, finished, purchase of material, carriage, direct expenses, productive, unproductive, manufacturing, administration, selling and distribution. Abnormal, we are not considering, and excess provision for depreciation also we are not considering. Now, so sales they have given at the end, that is nothing but your 2,80,000. The word is missing. It is nothing but sale price. What is your sales? Your sales are 2,80,000. Now, so your sales is 2,80,000. Now, once you're done with your cost, write down your sales. 2,80,000 minus your cost, 2,43,100. You will get profit of 36,900. Hope you are clear with this. Clear? Yes. This is all about your cost sheet. Now, we'll go for note. Quantity of opening stock and finished goods, closing stock of finished goods. So, we have not changed in the quantity. Everywhere we have mentioned 2,000 units only. Why? Because in the question, they have not mentioned anything about quantity except 2,000. That is your first point. Second, abnormal idle time of wages, 2,500. Excess provision for depreciation, 1,500 are non-cost items. Non-cost means what kind of items? Those are financial items. So, we have not considered. Clear? Yes. So, I'll go back to your previous slides so that you can take screenshots. So, this will be your problem, like agenda for the day. This will be your first part of the question. Your second part of the question, the last line is, that is sales price. It is missing. Please write down. And I explained you what is idle time as well as normal as well as abnormal idle time. This is all about your first part of your answer. Second part of your answer up to cost of production. Third part of your answer, it is your final answer. There is a note about what you have answered. So this is all about your today's session. We'll come back with one more problem. As I told you, your 10th, session 10 and session 10, all about your number of units only. We'll come back in the next session. Thank you.